Hello there and welcome back to my channel. Today I will show you how to implement stack using array in Swift 5. I will also show you how to write test cases for our structure. There are two main operations for stack, push and pop. Push is used to push an element on top of the stack and pop is used to remove one element from top of the stack. Here I have a picture of both push and pop operations. Push is used to push like one element on top of the stack. So here let's say we already have element 1 in our stack and we are using push operation to push number 2 on our stack. So eventually it will be 1 and 2. And here we used to have 1 2 3 4 5 6 on our stack, and we used pop operation to remove 6 from top of the stack. So let's get started. And another thing, along with push and pop, there are two more functions which we will be implementing, and they are peek and isEmpty. So let's get started. Here I have my Xcode open, and we will be creating a Swift package, new Swift package, and I will name it data structures. So data structures and hit create. So under test, we will remove Linux main and delete. Under data structures test folder, we will remove Xctest manifest and delete. And here under data structures test, we will remove all this stuff. We will like write it from scratch and save. And under sources, data structures, we will remove data structures. So delete, move to trash, and it's done. So let's get started. First, under data structure, let's create a new file called stack and hit enter, and make changes to this part. So here your run destination should be your Mac or iMac, and here remove this. So our data structure will be a struct, so let's say struct, and this will be a stack. And one more thing we will be doing is we will be implementing this stack as generic, so you can eventually create stack of numbers or strings or doubles, and hit and type out element. And here we need a variable, so it will be file private and variable say stack array, and this will be of type element and initialize it to be empty. Let's go ahead and first implement push operation. Mutating, we use keyword mutating because we will be manipulating our stack array, which is a property, and func and push, and here we will have underscore element and of type element and no return type. So we will just say stack array dot push, stack array dot append, as it's an array, as it is an array, and here we will push append our element. And one more function method we will implement is pop, and this will have no parameters but it will have a return type, and this will just do stack array dot pop last. And so we need to create an extension so that we can test this. We can write our test cases. So we will create extension for our stack, and it will conform to protocol custom string convertible, and here create, so we just modify the description, and here say return, and we will return our stack array, map it to, so basically we will just create a string in one line so that we can just write test cases for this. And here we will use string interpolation and $0, and then we will join and separate it with a space. Again, we will use this so that we can test our functions push and pop. Let me make this a full screen, and let's go to test. Let's go ahead and write test cases for push and pop. So Command Shift O, and here we will say test and hit enter. So we jump over to this file, which is again under test, data structures test, and there is a file called data structures test.swift. First we need a variable stack, And make sure you build the project before you, so let me just comment out and build this project and go ahead and build the project. And I don't know, okay, let's go here and see. Okay, stack array cannot use mutating. Oh yeah, we forget to use mutating here, so mutating, and now build the project and it should work fine. So go back to test and here uncomment and variable stack, and this will be of type stack, and let's use integer for simplicity. And we need a setup method so that we have some elements in our stack to test. So let's say stack dot push and 1 and copy and paste, and this will be 2 and this will be 3. So now we so every time for each test case there will be a stack with 3 elements, 1, 2 and 3. So let's go ahead and write our first test case. So it will be test, and let's test push, no parameters, no return type, and here we will say xct assert equals, and we will just say stack dot description. And here we'll let's make the test fail initially. So hit command U, and this way it will start to run the test cases. And another thing you can do to run the test case is product and test. So you can see it's command U here, and you can see that the test failed and it said it was supposed to be 1 space 2 space 3. So let's make the change and see what happens and run the test cases, command U, and succeeded. So that's good. Let's go ahead and write a test case for pop. So test pop, and here we will do xct assert equal, and we will say stack dot pop, and for now let's just put 5 and once again make it fail. So here it says that it was supposed to be 3, but we have 5 here, so let's put 3 here and run the test cases again. And as you can see, the test case is passed. So as I said earlier, we will also be implementing peek and is empty. So let's go ahead and implement that. So let's go back to our stack file. So once again, command shift O to get this thing and go over there. And let's implement peek. So peek is basically viewing the topmost element of our stack. So once again, it will be an optional element. And here just return. Oh, okay, pop last we did not return. We were supposed to return, and that's good. Okay. Anyways, it did work without this. But anyways, put return there, and here we will say stack array dot last. So the difference between pop and peek is pop will actually remove the element from the stack and give it to you. So eventually the stack will have one less element if you use pop operation, but when you use peek operation, you just get to see the element on top of the stack. It's not removed from the stack. And so let's go ahead and write test cases for peek, and here we will, let's just go, and here we will say func and test and peek. So we can like assert 2 statements here. First is stack dot peek. Oh, okay, we need to build the project so that we get peek, so that we can have peek for test cases. So here now we will have peek, and here we will say, I think topmost element will be 3, but let's make it fail, say 4, and let's see what happens. And as you may see, it says it was supposed to be 3, but we have 4 here. Change it to 3 and hit command U. And here we go. The test case passed. Another thing we can test under pop is you can say xct assert equal, and we can say stack dot description. So let's make it fail and hit command U. So it will say here it's supposed to be 1 and 2, because after pop we need to make sure the stack is actually changed. Otherwise, like pop and peek will be just similar. Okay, so all the test cases are passing. Let's go ahead and implement is empty. so stack, and here we will implement is empty. So here it will be a variable is empty, and it will be a boolean, and return we will just so there are two ways of doing this. You can say peak is equal to nil, so if there's nothing to see, so it's empty. And another thing, I think what we can do is we can do stack array dot is empty, and this makes sense too. So let's go ahead, build the project, and go and write test case for empty. And here we will come down and write func test and is empty, and here we will say xct assert false, and we'll say stack dot is empty and hit command U, and as you can see the test case is passing. So one more thing is, like, whenever you initialize a stack, every time you want to put some elements, you have to use push operations. But what if you want to initialize it with like an array or something, you know? So let's try to go ahead and do that. So go to stack again, and we will go ahead and create one more extension. So it will be stack and express, so it will be expressible by array literal and open brackets, and here we will do init. So this will be a like a initializer, right? And use the first one which says array literal elements, and here we will change it to be element because we have element over here, and the code will simply just assign stack array with elements, as simple as that. So let's go ahead and test this initialization, and here we will say test and write func test. So this will be initialization with array, and so let's just create an array. Let's create array numbers, and this will be of type stack and equal to, so this is how we will initialize it, so 1 comma 2 comma 3, and the way we will assert is xct assert equal array numbers, and this will equal to our pre-built stack, and hit command U. Okay, so this says global function xct assert blah 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 does not conform to equitable. So let's go ahead and fix this. So go back to our stack structure, and here we need to conform to protocol equitable. So equitable for the stack and also for the element, so each element is equitable as well. And build the project and go ahead and run the test cases. So come here and hit command U, and as you see all the test cases are passing. So this is how you implement stack in Swift, and we also wrote some test cases for our stack. You can also go ahead and write like extra test cases if you wish. I'll be posting more videos on more data structures later, so don't forget to subscribe. If you like my video, hit a like, and if you have any questions you can post them in comments. Until next time.